All right. I think that I'm live. I'm going to give it just a second here. I know it is Friday night. Uh, it is the 2nd of July, which means that obviously Sunday is 4th of July. It's party weekend, it's party night. It's an amazing time to be an REISift user as well as an American. So thank you guys for those who are going to tune in real quick, because I know you guys are probably going to spend time with your families here. But I wanted to go ahead and put this out there because we just launched it, and there's a few things I wanted to cover before we get a bunch of messages over the weekend on task management. Okay. I promised it to you guys on Wednesday. We wanted to fix a few things up. So I told the guys, I was like, I know this is like SaaS company no-nos is to release a pretty big feature on a Friday night, but I was like, yo, it's gonna happen. We got to do it. And they obliged and fixed some things up, and we went ahead and released task management. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna cover what task management is. I went ahead and put this on the YouTube channel, my personal Facebook page, as well as the RESF Mastermind community, and a few other places, just so that we can get the initial release out there. And then we're gonna go ahead and let me make sure my audio is actually going to you guys. Okay, cool. So that we can kind of get it out there. It's not the official release, I guess. It's the unofficially official, even though I put it pretty much everywhere because I get too excited. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's go. What's up? How you doing? I'm gonna go ahead and bring my screen in here. Hopefully you guys can see my REISift account. Here, I'm gonna cover kind of where you can find tasks and what tasks are for. In addition to how you, as REISift users, or maybe who aren't users, can use tasks in order to streamline and expedite your marketing efforts, your team management efforts, as well as, hey, what's up, Nigel? How you doing, man? Let me go ahead and post your thing up here. What's up, eyeballs? What's up? I can't see for those who are Facebook users and don't click it. I don't know who you are, so I'm just gonna say what's up. How you doing? It's not very often I actually share over into my personal page as well, so maybe it's somebody there. Anyway, so this is obviously our dashboard here. I will say, just side note here, they didn't start the workers for the vacancy check, so vacancy check should be kicking off here in the next day or so. For those that are users, your vacancy should go through. It says no vacancy here, but really that means that the vacancy hasn't happened. To verify if it has or hasn't happened, just go to your activity page and then just look at the activities, and you're going to see that it hasn't actually checked vacancy. So anyway, okay, moving on. So task calendar, one place that you can see it is underneath your dashboard on the top right corner. You'll see there is a little calendar here. What this calendar is for is it's actually for just single days. So if I click through here, you can see it looks like I have to make an offer on the 5th, and I can see that task will pop up there. If I continue to click in, looks like I got another one on the 9th I need to make, and so on. On the top right corner here, you can see there's a little calendar. You can click that and you can see your calendar. You see I got an overdue offer to make as well. What's up, Lonnie? How's it going? I am doing fantastic. I appreciate you. What's up, Jalen? You can see that I can see my full tasks. I can scroll down. I can see some recently completed tasks here. I got some example tasks. If you hover over any of these, you can click to go to that property and look at it there. And on the property records page itself, you can see that there's assigned tasks here. Let me turn off my air call real quick so that it doesn't pop up here on our page. Makes it easier. I think that should maybe remove it. I think. No, whatever. So you can see this assigned task right here. You can toggle on and off. If they're not assigned to you and this is toggled, you're not going to be able to see your tasks. Okay. This is the toggle, so you can only see your tasks. I'll show you an example of that in a minute. You can add a new task from here. You can name it whatever you want. Choose a role and then round robin, or you can choose a user. What's up, Leanna? You could choose a user you'd like to assign to, and then you can either choose a deadline or not. The deadline due date is essentially obviously the date that it's due. And then you can type in your notes and instructions. If you were to type a URL inside of here, it is hyperlinked, so you can make it clickable. So for example, under your presets, if you want to create a preset, which I'll show you here in a second, you can click add all 3 presets for like follow-ups for 30 to 90 days. And let's just say, for example, one of those presets is like a text follow-up. And inside of your notes, you wanted to put the text message you wanted to send or an SOP for text messaging. You could link that there. What's going on, Rob? You can link that there and it'll be clickable. So those are presets. I could click add all 3 and it would add all these tasks to there. Okay. So that is the actual page itself there. You got your sidebar here. Obviously, it's always available. Whenever you are assigned a task right now, you do also receive an email, and I can show you guys an example of that. Let me pull up one of those. I do recommend that you do add our no reply at REISift.io to your contact list just to heighten, make sure nothing goes to spam. But let me go ahead and show you what that looks like as well. So it looks like this. If I get a task, it says task assigned to you, and then it gives you have been assigned to make an offer. And if you click on this, it'll take you right to that property that you're supposed to do. And if you're on your mobile phone, you're not logged into the REISift app. You click on that link, it's going to take you, say you're not authorized. But if you log into REISift and then click the link, it'll take you right to the property as well. So, okay. So there is that. Task on the taskbar. Did you ever figure out how I can get leads from REI Apply to REISift? Yeah, probably through Zapier or something. I'm not really sure. I know there's a lot of people that do that, Leanna. When it comes to tasks, if you come to your task page here, you can see there's a few different options on the top. Here are these different tabs. One is assigned to me. And then you can see that your calendar here has overdue, today, tomorrow, and then all tasks. So I can click on all tasks and then see everything that's assigned to me. You can see that one of these doesn't have a address here, and that's because this is a recurring task. So every 30 days, I have a task that's recurring to pull data. So a good example of where you would also put maybe a link to an SOP or some videos on what you want pulled. But I just have it there for an example. Under today, you'll notice that overdue show up under today as well. That's simply because, Rob, you've always been able to see records on your mobile device. You just can't see the records page, right? So if you have a link to a record, you can open it up all day long. But if you click on the records page under mobile, it's not going to show anything because we haven't mobile optimized just the records page itself. Okay, so if it's today and it's overdue, that means it's still due today. So these types of things at the end of the day, anything that's overdue, for example, you want to make sure it's done or you want to schedule it to another day. Yeah, all good, man. So that's that. Another thing that this functions, if I click on all tasks, this calendar right here functions differently than the dashboard calendar. If I click on the first, and then it'll kind of come down and I could say, I only want to see July, or I only want to maybe see the rest of this week here over the weekend, make sure nothing's going to go overdue over the weekend, for example. Or maybe I just want to see today and tomorrow, whatever. Or maybe I just want to see Friday, or maybe I just want to see the 9th, for example. If I click it once and then click it a second time, it'll show me just that day. Okay, so I know that I have an offer to do on the 9th. So if I just click that number 9 2 times, and if I click back again, I'll go back. Again, if I stop it on there, it'll show me what's due there. Okay. Assigned by me is tasks that I've assigned either to myself or to other people. So it's me assigning it to somebody. So if I click on all tasks here, you can see that I've assigned some tasks to Jake, for example. I've assigned some to me. I've assigned some to Diana. So you can see that under the assigned by me. And this calendar functions the same exact way. And then you have manager's view. Manager's view is essentially for being able to obviously see specific people. From here, I can look at today. I can look at all tasks. And then I could look at my filter by users and maybe just filter by the role. I don't have any tasks assigned just by role right now, but I could filter by user and then look at just Jake, for example, and I could see all the tasks that are assigned by Jake. And I could do that again by timeline if I really wanted to. On that note, and this is another reason why I'm going live right now, there is two things that we're fixing right now. One is a recurring task, and another one is what just popped up. That's why I clicked off it so I can show you back again. When you filter from one person to another, it pops up right now under the filter by users with everybody's tasks there. So it only happens off of certain tasks. So that is something that we are fixing right now. But we wanted to launch it, and we wanted to make sure that you guys have it over the weekend. But that is one thing right now. But you'll be able to filter by user, specifically whatever it is there that you want to view by user. Okay. But that is something there. It'll end up showing everything beyond that, which is all of Diana's. So if I filter just by Diana, obviously it's just going to show her. But there's something with Diana that she just wants me to see all of her tasks for some reason, no matter who I'm filtered by. But yeah, so that's that. A cool way to use this filter by managers view here is if I click on all tasks, you can see that I can see there's 5 out of 215. But if I click on tomorrow, you can see there's not. If I click on today, you can see there's 5 out of 5, and then any that are overdue. If I were to select on like today through, let's say, the 17th, you can see there's 168 tasks, and there's 1 out of 168. What that means is that out of the tasks that she had, there's 1 in the last X amount of days that have been complete out of those total amounts of tasks, right? The 1 between now and then, because she didn't have any tasks to do today, is this one right here. It'll show up underneath on the bottom. And you can actually see, speaking of those tasks, you can see that this task was created by Diana on July 21st, and then it was finished on today by you, meaning me. If somebody else completed somebody else's task, you'll be able to track that and see, because sometimes there's an issue where people like just close out other people's tasks and stuff. So we wanted to be able to see that. So you can see that it was closed by me. The reason why I closed this one is because we actually already closed this deal. There was a task to follow up, and I seen that, and I was like, oh, we already closed that deal. So I completed the task. So then we have recurring tasks. Recurring tasks are basically tasks that you want to create that you might want to have happen on a weekly. For example, maybe it's our weekly meetings, and you want to have the Zoom link to your weekly meetings in the notes, or maybe it's pulling data, or maybe it's to clean a certain amount of records, or send out your marketing campaigns on Fridays. Whatever it is, you can click on create new tasks and name it whatever, like send direct mail, for example. And then you could set that to maybe your role as a marketer, or maybe a specific user like myself. And then you could choose a deadline. The deadlines function as basically when you're doing a recurring task, it's the date which starts the recurring. So for example, if I wanted this to be on Fridays, I could put it on like the 9th. All right. And then it's going to be due by the 9th on the very first go around. After the 9th, it'll be recurring since then. So if I put this repeat weekly then, and I say, okay, until the end of the year, what's going to happen is it's going to create, after the 9th, it's going to start creating a new task every Friday until December 31st to send direct mail. So I can click on create task, and it's going to do that weekly now. And you can see it. You can pause and start that task reoccurrence right here from your recurring page. And if I were to go back until to my assigned to me, and I were to look at between now and December here, we're going to see that I have that send direct mail on July 9th as well. Okay. So that's the cool way to use recurring tasks to kind of expedite the reminders of when to pull prop stream data or list source data. Maybe you want to pull list source data, quarterly or something like that, or monthly or something like that. Who knows? Now, that is that. Let me look to see if I have any questions. That's awesome. Okay. Didn't know that. Gee, this looked really sick. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Hey, Tyler, what is the difference between tier 1, 2, and 3 data? Want to make sure I understand. I'm not going to explain that in this video. It's not the context of the video, but we are releasing a video on YouTube next week that is a data priority pyramid. Essentially, tier 1 data is just the highest priority. Tier 2 is the second highest, and tier 3 is the third. Typically, it's like all high equity, a mixture of data, and then really focused data. Like tier 1 would be your leads, for example, and like really, really niche data. Just to give you a quick summary so I don't leave you hanging. Okay, so next is configure presets. So presets are really cool because presets allow us to really expedite and build out a flow in our, whether it be our follow-up sequences or making offers or whatever. So let's go ahead and make a make offer flow. So I'm going to click on create new group. I'm going to say make offer. And this make offer is only going to have one task in it, which I'm going to click add new preset. And I'm going to say call to make offer. Okay. And I'm going to assign this to round robin to acquisitions, for example. And then I'm going to make this due on the first day, really a day after this is created. So within a day after it's created, or you can do a hard date, like a hard time a day after. So maybe it's not an all day task, but maybe this is due by 5 p.m. the next day. And then in the notes here, I could put something in here if I want to. You can edit these afterwards, but I could put in here maybe an SOP or a link or something like that, or an offer calculator or whatever. So I'm going to click create task preset. And now what I want to do is I have an offer here. So I could go to a record and I can add this task preset so that she never, my lead manager, for example, never has to worry about, what task needs to be created. She can just choose preset and then see the make offer one and just add task. And now that task was just created and it was assigned. It looks like it was round robin to Hunter. So she received the task to make the offer. So she'll see that on July 3rd, tomorrow, there's a task for her to make the offer on this individual. Now, if I were to do this again and I were to create another add new task, if there was another acquisitions person inside of my account, they would then be round robin that, to make an offer, for example. If I were to go to my task now, though, and configure another preset, maybe after I make an offer, I want to make sure that my acquisitions individuals do something after. Like maybe I want them to, um, uh, depending on whether the deal was signed or whether it wasn't signed, or no matter what the case is, maybe I want them to do a follow-up call a day after. So I would move this to 2 days, and then I would do follow-up offer call. No matter if the offer is accepted or not, follow up with the how you doing. It's something we like to do after an acquisition locks up a contract. We always like to make sure that the acquisition still follows up the next day to let them know, make sure they're being taken care of, all that good stuff. So again, this one you can round robin it if you'd like. It doesn't need to be the same person that makes the offer on acquisitions that calls them back. It's just making sure someone from the company makes sure they're doing okay, or whatever the scenario is. So you can create that task preset again. And what's going to happen is one day after you added this task, it's going to have it to create the offer, and then it's going to create another offer after this task is 24 hours after this task, or 2 days after the initial task was done, whether it's overdue or not. It's going to create another task to follow up with the call. So for example, if I go back to the record that was assigned to, which I don't remember what it was, so I'm just going to go back to my manager's view, and then, or assigned by me. All right, let's do my manager's view and then do all tasks. Round robin means that, like, if someone's assigned a role, let's just say it's an acquisitions role or a lead management role, each time that a task is created, it'll go to one person and then the next person and then the next person. So it evenly distributes out those tasks or leads to like a role rather than just an individual. So I'm going to click back on this property here, and we can see that if I toggle this off, right now there's not another task on this record to follow up with the offer. It's just this single task. But after tomorrow, there's going to be another task for Monday or Sunday to then do a text follow up or a call follow up, whatever you want to do. So there's a lot of different ways you can use task presets. For example, one of the presets that you would want to make is after a contract is signed, you would want a transactions coordination preset. You use presets for anything. After you're doing deep prospecting and something gets kicked to deep prospecting, for example, let's say you're doing some single line prospecting and it gets kicked over to prospecting, you probably want a task preset for gather information from this website, do that as a task. The next task would be, to then, by the next day to call through all those phone numbers you gathered. And then the next day would be to either send a direct mail piece or kick back to I don't know, somebody else, whatever the case is. You can basically use task presets to document and create SOPs for your teams without having to follow the SOP. Those tasks are essentially those SOPs for you. But you can always put in the notes, like I said, the ability to click back and reference back to that main SOP. I think that's pretty much it. Some main things I wanted to show you guys and gals, that the task presets are there. It's something that will definitely streamline and make it to where you can build awesome flows in your company, and just make sure that you're using those tasks, those presets as much as possible. Make sure if you're trying to assign something to a record, you're on that record when you make the task. If I created the task from here, it won't do it. Will the status change trigger any of these tasks automatically? Kevin, not right now. Not at this very moment. But like if you're in the record and your lead manager, clicks on a record and let's say they want to make an offer to this person, or they make an offer to this person. Well, by switching it to a lead and then assigning it to the person, clicking add new task and choose preset to make offer really isn't that much more of a burden, right? So as of right now, it's not going to do anything, but maybe something in the future. But right now it's not. We also have bulk task creation. For example, if I click on the records page here, you'll be able to select these records. Let's say it's incomplete data. If I select these and then I go to manage, the bulk add tasks is also here. So maybe you want them to clean 10 records. You'll do select these and then do add a bulk task to a admin VA to clean these 10 records, for example, and make the due date by the end of the week or something like that. And then you'll be able to make sure that those are taken care of and finished. Okay. And so I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing for now. And if anybody has any questions or anything, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, get in there and use them. Obviously, again, we're going into the weekend right now. So if anything pops up, it's bound to happen when you release something that's interconnected to a lot of things. Maybe there's, something that gives you a little bit of issues, but next week, me personally, I'll be out a few days next week because of my baby. But after that, I'll be back and I'll definitely do some blueprints for y'all and make sure you guys have some things to run with here with these tasks, at least like some blueprints for maybe some task presets you should do and things like that will definitely launch on the YouTube channel to help you guys out. And then, if you have anything else for those that are on business plans, and if you would like to book a strategy call with me to cover some more in-depth stuff, feel free to do so. That's what the strategy calls are for. I'm sure you're going to book them anyway, but I figured I'd say so anyway. Is the ALGC not live this month? No, it's not live this month. Leanne, I'll buy anywhere that's a deal, as long as it's a deal. What are some of the best tasks to schedule? Definitely your team meetings. Like your team meetings is a really important one to schedule. You don't have to put those in Google Calendar. You just put them in your REISift recurring, or put them in both. You don't have to. Pulling of data is probably like the number one that you need to make sure that you have a recurring schedule for, like your weekly county pulling of data, your monthly pulling of like your niche list from PropStream, and then some quarterly, some ones that are quarterly of pulling like your list source data or something like that. Reviewing your KPIs is another one for your manager. Make sure you have a weekly task to review KPIs. You can add a task for a daily recurring task for submitting KPIs. Like if you go in the next morning and you see the submitting KPIs task that was due by 5 p.m. that day wasn't completed by your team, then you know that they probably didn't submit their KPIs, or or they're not watching their tasks. So that's another one. I mean, there's a lot of different recurring tasks that you can use to maintain accountability in your business, right? Um, so hopefully that gives you some ideas to run off of. Does each task have to be tied to a record? No, that's what I was just showing a second ago. Is if you click on your task page, if you create tasks from your tasks page, it doesn't tie to a record at all. In order to tie it to a record, you have to be on a record. If you create a task under the recurring tasks or just underneath of, the task page in general, it'll be a generic task. It won't be tied to any record specifically. Switch this off of. Let me make sure this task that I create all those tasks for has them completed here. So that we don't actually try to make him an offer when he doesn't need one. So bro, I don't know who bro is sadly right now because it says Facebook user. But hopefully this helps you guys out. Any other questions for me that I can assist you guys with to make sure you're getting the most out of task management over the weekend? Look it over, create some SOPs or whatever. Create some of your recurring tasks that are needed to make sure you maintain yourself. This is really, really good for those that are, having trouble. Hey, what's up, Mo? What's going on, man? It's really, really good for those that are having trouble like maintaining their team, and um, it's really good for those that like when they have a lot of stuff going on. It's hard to remember when they should pull stuff or do certain things. Like use that. All of you guys are in REISift daily, so it makes sense to make sure that some of that accountability is in front of your face, especially because when you come in here, if I share my screen again, when you come on here, right, and you log on your dashboard and it's set to the day, you're going to see, hey, you got some pending stuff going on. So if it says pull data, you're going to know, okay, that's the first thing that I need to do is make sure I pull my data. And then, of course, obviously a little calendar on the right side as well. But just make sure, and especially like this, you can see kind of your weekly view, or if you click on your task and do assign to me, and you can kind of look at your next week, before you go out on the weekend, like, okay, next week's going to be a pretty light week. I don't got too much going on, which could be a good thing or a bad thing, right? So just some things. So definitely take advantage of it. It's been awesome, and really fun building out the task management and designing it with our product team, and thinking of how we want it to flow. And we definitely have a lot more coming. And this is really kind of the footstone of making everything else that we have launching the rest of this year. This is kind of the pillar of making sure that that's successful. So definitely give us feedback and let us know what you guys think. And I look forward to seeing how you guys creatively use it. Use the REISift Mastermind community and share your presets, and give people some ideas yourself, and help other people become successful at maybe integrating tasks into their business as well. Okay. So one of the beautiful things about the REISift community is that everybody is so forthcoming and sharing, what they're doing in their businesses to expand and excel. So, hey, thanks, Thomas. Happy 4th to you too. So anyway, thank you guys so much, guys and gals. Be safe over the weekend. Don't do anything stupid. Make sure that you hang out with your families, and don't catch anybody's houses on fire. It's like, I forget the statistic, but every year on the 4th of July, a certain amount of neighbors, I forget what it was. My insurance rep was telling me this statistic because I was getting blanket insurance. And she was like, yeah, one of the good reasons to have blanket insurance is because of, you never really know. There's a statistic, and I forget what she said it was, but, the neighbor pops a firecracker off, and it goes on your roof and it burns down your house, or your kids burn down another house. Your primary insurance policy only covers up to like X amount of that. So the blanket insurance policy helps take over that extra X amount of dollars. So for those that don't have blanket insurance policies, I definitely recommend them. It's definitely worth the money for what it costs and what it'll give you. So anyway, thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Be safe, and I'll see you guys in our next announcement later.